Hello, and welcome to another Angry unit of the week. And today we're taking a look at the Reservistes. We don't really have too much interesting to say about French reserve troops, as they've been in use for quite a long time now. So let's actually take a look at their arsenal instead, as that's a little bit more interesting. The MAS 49 was the standard issue French service rifle throughout the early period of the Cold War. It entered into official service in, you might guess, 1949 as a 10-round semi-automatic rifle chambered in 7.5mm French. It'd be many different minor changes to the rifle thanks to the French experience in Algeria and Indochina, which eventually led to the final definitive version, the MAS 49/56 or DAS 56. Which mainly was just a shorter rifle compared to the MAS 49. However, in the late 70s, the MAS 49 would be phased out in favour of the FAMAS. And it could also shoot rifle grenades, because the French really like a rifle grenade. And the LRAC 73 is a 73mm rocket launcher, used by the French mainly during the Korean War in the early 50s. It would eventually get replaced later on in the 70s by the LRAC F1. In-game, the Reservistes are a 5-point infantry squad available to France. And they have two weapons. The two weapons are what we literally just talked about, the MAS 49/56 and the LRAC 73. The MAS 49 is a pretty okay infantry rifle, as infantry rifles will go. It's just, to shoot bullets at people. Maybe you hit someone, most likely not. And the LRAC 73 is not exactly a great rocket launcher either. Has pretty short range, subpar accuracy, subpar AP power. You're getting what you're paying for. Pop down to miscellaneous stats. She's a 10-man squad with very small size, medium optics, a slow speed of 15 km an hour. They are militia, so they're not really effective at any sort of fighting. Good stealth, year restricted to 1975, and type restricted to support motorized, mechanized, and armored decks. They're also a prototype unit, apparently. So, yeah. So in-game, the Reservistes are another cheap 5-point militia squad, but really you're not buying the Reservistes for the Reservistes, you're buying it for their transport, the AMX-13 VTT, and frankly this unit of the week really should be about the AMX-13 VTT. So actually let's go back and redo this. Hello, and welcome once again to the same unit of the week. This time we're talking about the AMX-13 VTT. The AMX-13 VTT, or sometimes known as the VCI, is a pretty simple transport. The French just got the AMX-13 light tanks, cut off the turret, and just used all the extra space to carry 10 dudes in the back. And usually it just has a single 7.92 or 50 caliber machine gun mounted on top. It entered into service in the late 50s and would end up being replaced by the more suitable AMX-10P. In-game, the AMX-13 VTT is a 5-point transport available once again to the French. And it has a single weapon. And that weapon being a 50 caliber machine gun with 2,000 rounds of ammunition. If you somehow manage to run out of ammunition, I guess, good job. Up down to the miscellaneous stats, it has 3 frontal armor, 2 at the side, 1 at back, and 1 at top. It has 10 HP, medium size, poor optics, a speed of 65 km off-road, 110 on the road, poor stealth, decent autonomy, year restricted to 1967, which pretty much doesn't really mean anything, and then type restricted to support mechanized and armored decks. Okay, so I'm back now to regular scheduled programming. We got all of that out of the way. The AMX-13 VTT is a pretty decent transport. It's not really anything that amazing, but for 5 points you can't really go too wrong, right? Where you got 50 cal to begin with, which is a bit better than your standard less heavy caliber machine guns, but also you have a whopping free frontal armor for 5 points, which is pretty damn good. I mean, if you compare it to the dreaded Zelda That thing only has 2 frontal armor. To be fair, the Zelda's dreaded due to all the machine gun firepower it can bring onto the table. And 3 frontal armor may not seem like a lot, and it's not a lot of frontal armor, but that can actually mean quite a big difference when dealing with autocannons as well as lighter caliber anti-tank weapons. Maybe just 1 extra shot it allows you to survive, but that extra shot could mean either getting into the town or not getting into the town. So take the extra armor whenever you can. And really, both units, the Reservistes and AMX-13 VTT, complement each other quite well. Because in total, for 10 points, you're getting a very bad infantry squad, which is really just here to be a meat shield, and then an APC, which can provide some subpar firepower for only 5 points. But for 10 points in total, you get a lot of meat shield firepower. And you're starting to see, or I'm starting to see quite a bit now, in Eurocore decks, people are taking Reservistes over more traditional frontline, like regular infantry, like the Chasseurs or the Jaegers, because the Reservistes and AMX-13 combo is quite cheap. And also, very good availability, as in a standard Eurocore general deck, you get 32 of these guys in a card. So you bring in the Reservistes to be the cheap meat shield, you bring in a card or 2 of Panzer Grenadiers with some Marauders to provide some adequate fire support. You pretty much got hammer and anvil tactics going on for you, yeah. Overall, this is 10 points of spam, and you're going to spam a lot of him. Just spam him towards the enemy. They die, who cares? It's 10 points. The French are here to die for you. The Germans are here to do the damage. And well, I'm going to leave it off at that. This has been another Rang Rouge unit of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual, please just take it easy.